The mainstream media is collapsing, and it's accelerating tonight. CNN is axing over 200 jobs in their most vocal anti-Trump voice. Jim Acosta has been banished to the midnight shift. It's not just a demotion, it is a complete humiliation. Sources say Acosta is threatening to quit rather than accept his new role in TV's graveyard slot. But here's what CNN doesn't want you to know about the real reason behind these massive cuts and why their attempt to salvage their failing network is too little, too late. And while CNN crumbles under the weight of their fake news agenda, your retirement savings face a similar threat from mainstream financial propaganda. Don't let your wealth disappear like CNN's ratings. Contact Global Gold Investments at 888-700-4148 and get your free 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. We mentioned Next News. You receive a complimentary portfolio analysis and up to $1,000 in free silver. But you got to mention Next News. Mention Gary Franchi. You'll be able to do, if you qualify for your January retirement rollovers. So just as Americans are turning away from fake news, smart investors are turning to real money, gold. Okay, poor Jim Acosta. Oh, poor Jimmy. Oh, poor Jimmy. Yeah. Going to the graveyard shift. Jim Acosta, CNN's anti-Trump poster boy, is reportedly threatening to quit after being demoted from his prized 10 a.m. show to the dreaded midnight slot, otherwise known as TV Siberia. Replaced by Wolf Blitzer, Acosta is said to be fuming as CNN bosses attempt to rein in his theatrics, fearing more fallout as Trump begins his second term. Once celebrated for his dramatic clashes with Trump, Acosta now faces the reality that shouting at a president doesn't secure job security. Meanwhile, staffers are furious, claiming CNN is bending the knee to Trump. Legacy media, folks, it's eating itself alive. We have more on that. Here's a headline. Trouble off air. CNN boss warns network could no longer exist as it lays off 200 staff and brutally demotes anti-Trump star Jim Acosta. CNN's meltdown continues. The CEO warns the network might not survive layoffs / 200 jobs. Jim Acosta gets demoted to the midnight shift where no one will ever hear him anyway. Top talent is eyeing the exit as Wolf Blitzer moves to mornings to salvage what's left. Legacy media, folks, is a sinking ship with no lifeboats. Watching their collapse is almost as entertaining as their coverage used to be. Turns out 24/7 Trump bashing doesn't pay the bills. The most trusted name in news is running out of trust and time. Yeah, I'm here for it, though. So what do we got here? Chaos at CNN. Edward Muniz. 200 plus layoffs coming. 200 jobs cut at CNN. Once again, CNN's Jim Acosta holds the line. We are not going to let the truth be erased about January 6th. Yeah, not for long. Speaking of mainstream media, John Fetterman says Democrats need to stop freaking out over everything Trump does. And that's exactly what CNN does. Everything Trump does, they freak out about. John Fetterman's starting to be a voice of reason over there in the Democrat Party. But of course, it couldn't happen to a nicer person.
To come into the
Why did you characterize?
Remember this moment? I'll never forget this. This was such a disgraceful moment.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Jim Acosta interrogating the president during an open press conference.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep?
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people. Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's
enough. I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
President, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his butt.
Well, I'm not
like
a big fan of yours either. So
I understand.
To be honest.
So let me ask you a question, if I can. You repeatedly said
you aren't the best,
Mr. President. You repeatedly over the course of the
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course of the last several days of the campaign, sir.
Oh, man, who will ever forget that moment? That was absolutely historic. Wow. Speaking of meltdowns, AOC having a meltdown over both peasants and elites rallying behind Trump in his second term, no longer viewing him as the villain the Democrats and media painted him to be. And she was speaking with the former Daily Show.
On edge. What makes
Jon
this
Stewart
go around with Trump so much more dangerous than the first time around is exactly what you're saying. It's that he is much more normalized this time around than he was the first time. The first time, people were really on edge. They were on guard. They were very vigilant about any break that he would have with these norms. This time, the norms are becoming him. Like, the norms are embracing him. Even these little things that people may not, everyday working people may not care about, but they are strong cultural signals. Oscar de la Renta, dressing all of the women. There's all these cultural symbols, right?
I see. Participating now in this when they wouldn't have participated in the past.
Exactly. So all of these people that were scared before about being associated with him from the most common.
I mean, listen, AOC, just give it up. The shtick is dead. We heard it for years and years and years. It's over. You guys lost. You might as well play ball. Get on the train or get run over by it. Okay, you're complaining because people are actually now supporting President Trump because he had all those billionaires of Silicon Valley sitting with him at the inauguration. You're freaking out. Well, it's about time they fell in line. It's about time you fall in line too, honey. By the way, look at her face. It looks like she got a shiner. Like she put on a lot of makeup. Something going on over there in the AOC household? I don't know. A lot of people were saying that she's pregnant too. I don't know. Anyway, let's we got another 60 seconds of this? Whatever.
Basic level to the most elite level. They're all they're all in now because this is now a billionaire feeding frenzy. It is a kiss-ass race.
Man.
It is, how can I show how much fealty I have to Donald Trump in order to get my digs? And I think what's really important for people to understand, and now and every day of this administration, is that you're being ripped off. You're being ripped off, dude. Everyone is being ripped off. And he goes up there and he says what he wants to say, but he's just the quintessential New York con man.
AOC, my heart goes out to you. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I caught that. Speaking of this, we got, a guy going to work loses it when activists block a roadway. What's this? Oh boy. This should be good. Where is this? Oh, okay, these are U.S. plates. Uh-oh.
Convenience others. Look behind you. Take it out. You gotta go to work. Get the fuck out the way. Get the fuck out the way. Go. Get the fuck out of here. You get the. They gotta go to work. Some of these people.
Yeah. Think twice before you decide to block the roadway. Okay. And then we got this here. Anna Navarro. Oh, man. One of the clucks from The View. The clucks from the hen house. Here she has a complete meltdown. This is posted 6 hours ago on The View because President Trump pardoned J6 hostages who she claims assaulted police. Meanwhile, she won't condemn Antifa or BLM.
One thing that really did kind of take me by surprise, and it shouldn't have, were these January 6th pardons. Yeah. Because I think it is such a gross, inexcusable, unjustifiable betrayal of police, of the Capitol Police. And I am disgusted beyond words.
Oh, did you hear that? There was a knock on the door. I think the ICE agents are heading over to The View to check Anna Navarro's papers.
That yesterday the leader of the Oath Keepers was in the Capitol that he helped plan.
He'll be the next Secretary of State. What, are you kidding me?
Or he might be the Social Secretary of the White House. They're now discussing having some of these pardoned January 6 people visit the White House, the symbol of democracy in this country. What is wrong with Republicans, the law and order party, that they are not coming up and saying to him, having the guts on this?
Oh, yeah, you guys can keep crying. Keep crying. Here's Stuart Rhodes.
You shouldn't be here. You are welcome. First Amendment, free speech.
Right.
It is disrespectful.
No, it's not.
To be here.
Okay, so you have a right to express your opinion and I have a right to carry on.
I have no standing here except I work here. And
I used to work here too.
Can you identify yourself? I don't want to be part of this. It doesn't matter. I just want to express that.
Okay, that's fine.
Please tell your story elsewhere. Here
is I have a right to free speech.
It's disrespectful. Yes, of
course.
And
I'm here to conduct business too. So here she wants to express free speech. She doesn't want free speech. Certain people are, in her mind, don't deserve free speech and should be wiped off the face of the planet when it comes to their free speech. That's the attitude we're dealing with here.
And
I stand for everyone's free speech. I believe Black Lives Matter had a right to protest in Ferguson peaceably, and I advocate for that.
You shouldn't be here. You are welcome. First Amendment.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the meltdowns are going to continue. This is only the beginning, friends. And Jim Acosta on the chopping block going to Siberia, midnight shift. Oh, yeah. Keep giving them the symbol of love. The fall of CNN isn't just about ratings. It's about the death of legacy media as we know it. Jim Acosta's demotion to the midnight shift symbolizes everything wrong with mainstream news. Arrogance, bias, and a complete disconnect from real Americans. As CNN scrambles to rebrand itself, their desperate moves only highlight just how far they've fallen. So here is what we want to know from you. Is CNN's downfall a victory for truth in media? Or should we be concerned about the concentration of power in other media outlets? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to grab your exclusive MAGA Avengers gear on the way out. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, link below. Show the world where you get your real news.